Live from the compound today, we got Coach Wayne. They call him Coach
What up?
Rudy. I mean, Wayne, it's great to have you. Many
Good to
folks
be here,
have a
bro.
passion for fitness, but few turn it into a full-time career. And I want to know, what was the pivotal moment or realization that truly ignited your decision to go all in with your personal training over the last year?
Just say this. My life is a series of divine interruptions, right? Every time I thought that I knew what I wanted to do with my life, God interrupted that. That's the best way I can describe it. So I didn't really make the decision to even be in fitness, much less do it full time like I've been doing for the past about 3-4 months. But I had a job, a stable 9-to-5 that decided to do a force reduction, and they put me in it. So I've been training now total for about 10 years, I guess, going on 10 years now. But this was the first time that I went full time, and it wasn't really my choice. But I say it's a divine interruption because I was happy where I was, Not really happy, I was content, and I felt grateful to even be in a position to have the stability of having a good job that paid me well for the region that I live in. But I wasn't happy doing it. So when they decided to go with the force reduction, a couple of days after that, my schedule was completely booked with training, and it's been overbooked since then. So I'm grateful.
Blessings, blessings. Before you was coaching others full time, you always was in great shape, to like the best of my knowledge, as long as I known you. How did that personal discipline and journey evolve into this calling to guide others into their fitness transformations?
I don't think I ever made a decision to do anything, like any career. Obviously my background is in music as a hip hop artist from South Georgia. I didn't make that decision. I was just compelled to start putting words together in a rhyming format, and then it benefited me early. I don't think I made the decision to join the military. It just a series of divine interruptions, man. I found myself in basic training at Fort Jackson, and likewise with this fitness journey. It goes as far back to when I was a kid. I think we had a weight set when I was 7 or 8. Like, it's kind of weird, like how things come full circle. But recently, it was just because my mom passed away, and that was really my catalyst to get my own health together, right? Like, I was always active in sports and a naturally kind of strong guy, but for me to kind of really turn it into a regimen was when my mom passed away. I was overseas at the time. I was still in the military, and that was the first time that I lost a lot of weight at once, and it was just through a commitment and discipline. And so when I came back home from overseas, people just saw the way that I worked out and the way that I lived, and they kind of wanted to be a part of it, and it turned into what has now become a profession. So that was really it. When my mom passed away, it just kind of got me thinking that we can control what we put in our bodies. We can control how we live, right? Like, it's not a circumstance, it's a choice. And so I started I put that call to action into my daily regimen, and people just started to kind of inquire about, what are you doing? How do you do this? How do you do that? And that's really what started the journey.
And given your background with serving our country, how have the principles and discipline, resilience, and commitment from military service translated into how you approach working with clients and building what you do?
Oh, for sure. I mean, most of my clients refer to me as a drill sergeant or something similar, right? And I do believe, like, I never in my life would have thought I would have been a soldier, a service member. But those principles were part of my personality. Like, my core personality, a lot of the Army values were already lived that way. So taking those things into the way that I train, like a lot of my voice inflections, even with the way I stretch, a lot of my athletes, is kind of based on the way that, we lead PT in the Army. So it's it was kind of the foundation of of who I am. What it is kind of the foundation of who I am, right? It's just that discipline, like embracing the suck, as they say, right? Like I don't sell fun as a trainer, right? I sell doom and gloom. It's more of a discouragement, right? Like I'm not the guy that says, hey, you should train with me. It's going to be a good time. You're going to get into shape. It's more like, do you have what it takes to train with me? Are you strong enough? Are you tough enough to train with me? It's more of a challenge. And that's kind of the principles of what basic training was like going to the military. It's like we don't reduce ourselves to the standard of a trainee. The trainee has to dress themselves up to the standard of us, right? And that's kind of how I train, right? Like, hey, day one is day one. We're going to push you to your limits of what they are on that day. It's not dressing it down to where you are, right? I'm not going to scale the program down to the level of fitness of any one of my trainees. It's just that whatever your limit is that day, whatever your threshold is, that's where we're going.
Beyond the physical conditioning, what's the deeper impact you aim to have on your clients' lives through your training?
Shatter the glass ceiling. The human capability is limitless almost, you know, and fitness is just the tip of the iceberg, you know. So I think the deeper impact is whatever stressors you have in your life, use those things as catalysts, right? And the general discipline of fitness is the general discipline of life. What I found is I don't think discipline applies to one thing. I usually can tell how people live their lives based on how they are when I train them, right? Most of the time, people that don't want to complete those reps and they just say, hey, that's it, I'm done, right? And nothing's physically wrong with them. Like nothing's wrong with you. Now, granted, injuries and things like that and true limitations, that's one thing. But when you're just tired, when you're just getting your ass kicked by this workout and you just say, nah, I'm not going to do that 9th or 10th rep, usually their lives mirror that, right? They sell themselves short in the classroom. They sell themselves short on the playing field. They sell themselves short in the workplace, right? So the deeper impact that I'm usually going for is shatter that glass ceiling. Like whatever you think your limits are, let's go ahead and flirt with it. Flirt with what you think your limits are, and you'll realize that the boogeyman in your mind is way more gruesome than he is in real life, right? In real life, the boogeyman really a cap-ass dude, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the deeper impact that I push for. Like, let's find out what you think your limits are, and you'll realize it's laughable once you reach that threshold.
Right on. Could you paint a picture of your typical day? Like I be following you on social media and it seems like you be posting early in the morning and late in the evening sometime. Like it seems like you be going all day. Like is this your typical like lifestyle now or like what's going on?
Yeah, on an average day now, it absolutely is, right? Never in a million years would I have thought that this would be my regimen. But most days, my first general alarm is 4:30, right? On days, sometimes I have training at 4:30, so then my alarm is at 3:30. Like we're in a smaller town, so it doesn't take you an hour to get across town. So, but most days I'm up by 4 a.m. Some days I'm already training by 4:30, right? So just on a heavy loaded day, I have a 4:30 session, I have a 6 a.m. session, a 10 a.m. session, 1 p.m., 3 p.m., 6, 7:30, right?
Wow.
So if you think about that in between time of planning, recovering, running errands, right? I am married with children. It's summer schedule, and I also coach at the middle school, by the way. I'm also a middle school football coach and a youth football coach in a Pop Warner organization, South Georgia Soul Runners. What up? Outwork everybody, right? That's the motto. So yeah, a day in the life, man, is that. We start dark and early, we get it done, and we do it again, and we rinse and repeat, and we do it again. So that's it, man. Probably about, on an average day, at least six solid hours of actual training of different kinds. So speed and agility, field work, track work, gym work. So yeah, it's pretty booked up, man. It's pretty hectic.
If your training sessions had a theme song for every client who finishes strong, what would it be, and why does it perfectly capture the feeling of the accomplishment?
Yeah, well, that's there's a lot of songs. Like searching for the right song for a training clip is a job in and of itself, right? Because I'm thinking about what the mood of it was, right? What the trainee was going through, right? Because people carry their days with them. So that's a challenge in itself to find a song that captures that mood, right? I try to keep myself out of the equation. I also try to keep myself out of the videos too, right? Because it's really about what these people are going through. When you think about what it takes to reach out for help, it's a really vulnerable moment, right? So I try to make it all about the client, right? So I think to capture the success of the moment, man, there's a lot of good songs for that, right? A lot of good songs, right? Going the distance. You know, I'm from the gangster music era, man. So so I have to fight putting 90s gangster music in the videos with the kids, man. 'Cause but for me, my own plight, you know, it's probably something from that era, man. But there's a kid from Tampa, man. He's a gospel artist. I think his name is Zonte or whatever. I think that's how you pronounce it. Zauntee. That hard work, God first. Hard work, God first. That song, that Blessed and I'm Chosen. He has a song called Blessed and I'm Chosen. I think that one captures it a lot. And I try not to overuse it. It's like, I'm blessed and I'm chosen, I'm something, I'm focused, and God has a plan for me. Like,
Right.
that song captures it a lot because it's just like whatever I'm going through, right? It's an overcomer's theme song, right? Whatever I'm going through, I'm blessed and I'm chosen, and God has a plan for me. Like, it sucks right now. It sucks right now, but there's what they say, joy comes in the morning, right? After the darkest night, the sun will rise. That theme, like, that's kind of the theme of how I train, because I'm gonna take you through it, man. You understand? It's gonna be an emotional complex. I'm gonna take you through it. I'm gonna find those parts of you where you want to quit, and we're gonna get over that shit, man. And that's kind of what I live in. I live in that discomfort, man. You know, so I think that song "Blessed and Chosen" by Zonte is probably the one over all others.
If your body had a check engine light, what's one habit or activity that will constantly make it flash, and what does it usually tell you that you need?
For me, it's like now, it's I have to eat, because I'm going over and over. So my check engine light comes on, like I'm extremely lethargic. Like, I've gotten to the point where I've gotten lightheaded, and I'm like, man, I feel like I'm about to pass out, right? Like, so now just being on the go like that, I have to remind myself that I have to eat at some point. But the limitation that I have now is my right knee, man. My right knee has a range of motion limitation, and I run a lot, jump a lot of the plyo stuff that I do. Obviously, I have to demonstrate this stuff over and over all day. So my check engine light tells me, man, that when my knee gets a little wobbly, I got to sit down somewhere, man. Like, you know, most of my clients are half my age, dude, like even less than that sometimes. So my check engine light is telling me, man, to sit your ass down somewhere. All right, so take a moment to recover. So that's it.
As a dedicated family man with a wife and kids, how do you balance the demands of running a full-time business while still being present and engaged with your family?
Well, the good thing about it is now it's summer break now. You know, my youngest daughter's in college, you know, and my son's still in school. He's in middle school. So during the school, they're at school. My wife's at work. So now that my training schedule's open, you know, I'm seeing them the same amount of time, because by the time my training ends is about the same time I normally get home, because I used to train after work and coach after work. So they're working all day or at school all day, and I'm training all day, and then I get home around the same time. So balancing it is just really being cognizant of knowing that you have to make time for whatever their events are. You kind of got to get that FaceTime in with them, right? So as soon as I come in the door, I'm going in the rooms and sitting on the bed with my daughter, and whatever my wife's doing, I go and invade her space for a little bit. But funny thing is, I actually see them more now that I don't have a full-time job and I'm just training full-time. Because obviously, if you've seen the videos, you see that my son trains with me and I train him.
Right.
I coach him as well. So I actually see him more now. I see my wife a little bit more now, just in the transition periods. When I go home, because you can't do this all day without taking a shower, right? So I'm going home and taking a shower. Like if I have a 2-hour window, I'll go home and take a shower. So if it's on a day that she's off, I get to see my wife during that time, that transition. Even now with her leaving for work in the morning, I get to see her because I'm usually gone. When I did have a 9 to 5, like I'm usually gone before she goes to work. So now I actually see her off in the morning. But it is a challenge, man. You have to be cognizant about making time for what they have going on, because you can lose yourself in the hustle and bustle of it.
Every year, from what I can see, you contribute to Tyreek Hill's Soul Runner Speed Academy. What invaluable lessons or unique perspectives have you gained from being part of such a high-profile and specialized training environment?
It's I'm grateful for the experience, man. It's interesting because this thing, like I said, this thing is really akin to the entertainment, and in a lot of ways, it is a form of entertainment, right? So Tyreek's a global sports superstar, and just seeing that, like, somebody of that magnitude moving around and giving back in that way, it's been really cool to see firsthand. But what I gained from it, man, is networking is, it's necessary. It's an absolute necessity. Meeting people from all walks of life that kind of do the same thing. And they all do it a little bit differently, right? They all do it a little bit differently. It was also probably the binding factor in that let me know that I could do this, right? Because one of the things about doing things locally with people that first one person removed from, whoever your client is, right? It's kind of a bias, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But traveling the world and traveling the country, training, and you realize that when you get to where you are, you're on par, or slightly better, right? Obviously, that's my own opinion. But then, what's already going on in those places, you realize, like, I can really do this shit, right? Like, and it seems like the people gravitate to me, right? Like, no, not toot my own horn or anything, but it seems like the population of athletes and even the other coaches and those people seem to gravitate to me, and I don't take that for granted. So it was kind of confirmation to just say, okay, I can really do this, right? I can really do this. And I kind of took that and I've been running with it, man, and just kind of trying to keep those lines of communications open to be able to go to those places, kind of on my own in the future and keep it going.
When working with adults, what are some of the most common misconceptions about fitness that you find yourself addressing, and how do you help them reframe their approach?
Microwave. Like, I think most people want to work out today and reach all their goals tomorrow. And everybody knows it, right? Like, we are the most informed generation, well, we're living in the most informed times, right? Everybody has information at their fingertips, right? So everything that you want to know, you can find it out on your own with a few clicks. But people still expect instant gratification. I put in the work today, right? I did a dietary restriction all yesterday, and I worked out yesterday, so today I want those results. And I think that's probably the biggest thing to quell with adults, right? And there's a difference between men and women, right? Women all have this, for the most part, right? Ladies, without sounding sexist, but women I want to lose this, I want to keep this, this, and this, right? They have these targeted goals that they think we're going to work on that and we're going to reach that. But those things come in stages, right? Like, your body is not going to lose weight in one specific area. You're going to lose weight in general, and then you have to kind of work at toning and targeting the areas that you want to change or look differently, right? So that's kind of the biggest misconception. I think the microwave results and the instant gratification, that you realize that this is a long-term change, right? I always say that you have to treat it the same way you treat making money. Whatever you do to take care of yourself and the people that depend on you, you have to treat fitness the same way, right? That's what health is wealth literally means, right? Because if you're just talking about financial wealth and you're in poor health, then you're going to spend that financial wealth taking care of yourself or fixing the mistakes you made. Whereas if you get yourself healthy, right, you can enjoy the financial wealth longer. Your quality of life will be better. So I think just kind of driving that point home to people that this is not something that you're going to do for a day or a week, right? It has to be a part of your lifestyle. You know, it's not just a change for a day, it's a lifestyle change.
For the aspiring young athletes you train, what's the single most crucial piece of advice you give them about developing not just physical abilities, but their mental toughness for sports?
Have a short-term memory. Have a short-term memory. Our generation did, as a whole, did significantly better than our parents financially, which provided our children with a lot more stability, with a lot more access to things, right? So what that did was, like, we leaned into their emotions more. And so these kids are emotionally charged more than we were. So they hold on to those things, right? Like, if they won today, they're on cloud 12, right? And they're sore winners and sore losers, right? And if they lose today, they're crying about it, they're in their feelings about it, and they won't let it go. You have to have a short-term memory for wins and losses, right? You have to make your competitors beat you every single rep, right? And that's on the physical aspect, and you have to have mental toughness to do that. Like, you have to have mental toughness, you have to have emotional IQ to be able to let go of something that bothers you. You have to have enough wherewithal to say, okay, just because you beat me yesterday doesn't mean you're going to beat me today, right? What I like to ask these kids, I like to get in the huddle and say, who's the fastest guy here, right? And what you'll do, you'll see 3 or 4 kids say, me. But you'll see most of the kids point to who they think is the fastest kid, right? And that tells me one thing, right? That tells me that kid's been whooping their butt and they're okay with it. You know what I mean? And I try to get them out of that. You gotta be competitive, right? You have to be competitive every single day, right? And what being competitive does is it builds mental toughness, right? It builds that emotional IQ to say, I can't live in that moment of that heartbreak of losing that big game or losing that last rep. I gotta show up and compete every day, right? You gotta have that short-term memory for it. So that's what I kind of try to impart on them.
Okay. And I know you got a few sessions to get to, so we ain't gonna hold you much longer. Just a few more questions, if you don't mind.
Okay, let's go.
What has been the most unexpected or surprising reward you experienced since dedicating yourself to full-time work like this?
People booking. It was shocking how fast it went. You know, because like I said, I don't think I have an ego, but I've never lacked in general confidence, right? Like, I have supreme confidence in myself. But I am surprised at how much interest the Train with Wayne moniker has garnered, right? And it's coming from a lot of places. It's coming from a lot here locally in Douglas, in Southeast, just up, you know, down in Florida, up towards Atlanta, and other states. So, you know, a lot of my military friends, you know, they share my stuff and keep up with what I have going on. So that's kind of been the most surprising thing, right? Because, you know, second guessing yourself is I mean, it's a burden, you know, and I went through that too. Like, hey, if I actually banked on, you know, stepping out on faith in this area that I'm kind of unfamiliar with, could it be sustainable? And well, like I said, that divine interruption, I mean, it answered it for me, and you know, it's been growing, man, and it's been growing fast. So that's been the most surprising part.
For someone listening who might be considering making a similar leap into the training field, what's one piece of advice you wish someone would have given you before you started?
Have all your business together. I think that's anything that you're going to make a business. Have some knowledge of business and kind of have a template that you're going to use and draw from. For me personally, not advice that I wish someone would have given me, but what I will say is do your due diligence in being or aspire to be a subject matter expert on what you're doing, but don't ever think that you have it all figured out, and be a student forever, right? I mean, fitness is a constantly evolving thing because science is, right? We learn more and more about everything every day. So always be a student. Always be open to learning new techniques and new things because it's an ever expanding arena. And that's what I would say, because I think there are a lot of people that train, and I think anybody that helps anybody and it benefits them is a good thing, right? But I also feel like you should aspire to be more knowledgeable and to not just give busy work, right? Like no rhyme and reason busy work. And I see that sometimes. It's just, these guys are just doing stuff, and you may think that if you look at some of my videos too, but they're just clips of, energy for lack of a better term. But there is a rhyme and reason, and I don't show the whole palette or the whole workout, but I see a lot of people in person and it looks like they're just doing busy work. Like their thing just, hey, go and do this stuff. And moving around by nature is better than not moving around, and it gets you in shape, more shape, better shape than you're actually in. But yeah, do your due diligence and learning the rhyme and the reason, right? Because one thing I can say with absolute confidence, none of my clients would tell you that they wasted their money, right? So again, I don't sell fun, I sell doom and gloom. This shit is gonna suck, and I dare you to come give it a try. I don't even think you can handle it. All right, let's go.
If you had to teach a class on the art of the perfect post-workout meal using only 3 ingredients, what would it be and why?
3 ingredients. Are we talking about food? Like actual food, no supplements?
However you want to answer it.
Well, I mean, we can just go technical, right? Perfect post-workout meal would have to be the 3 macros, right? Protein, okay, carbs, and fats. But for me, man, I just try to rule of thumb, lean and green, right? Lean and green, right? So you choose your 3, right? Lean and green, right? For me, it would probably be chicken breast, asparagus, okay, and a sweet potato. So, okay, yeah, for me, right? But you can substitute any of those things with what you like, right? I say lean protein, which is going to be chicken breast, whitefish. I mean, you could eat. I try not to do a lot of red meat. Right? I know there's a lot of steak guys, right? A lot of you beefcake guys love steak. You can do steak. I wouldn't recommend it every day on a regular basis. But like for me, like I said, chicken breast, whitefish, or ground turkey. Something green, right? Like asparagus, Brussels sprouts, green beans, spinach, kale, right? I do a lot of steamed spinach. I almost put spinach in everything that I cook. Eggs. When I do ramen, I put spinach in it, right? Which I don't do ramen much, but I do like it a lot. For your carbs, I try to go complex carbs, right? Sweet potatoes usually covers that. Quinoa, right? And you can season and sauce quinoa up the way you want. You could also do any of your lentils, right? Garbanzos, which are chickpeas, red beans. You can do white potatoes. I don't do it a lot, but you could, right? That's a good carb source. But you pick your poison, man, out of those three. But like I said, for me, if I had to pick three quick hitters, it would be chicken breast, asparagus, and sweet potato.
Okay. Now I don't know if you want to share this or not. Considering your field or whatever, how disciplined you are and all that stuff, but what's a guilty pleasure activity or food that people might be surprised you enjoy, given your dedication to fitness, and how do you reconcile with it?
Man, I'm a chronic binge watcher when I get the chance. Like, I like to, like, any new show that's coming out that's still doing the week episodes, I wait until they're done because I want to watch that stuff in 2 days, right? So I'm a chronic binge watcher, and sweets are my Achilles heel when it comes to nutrition. I love sweets. So I don't buy them hardly, right? I hardly buy them. But if they're in my house, I will eat them. So I have to make sure that I'm active, right? So case in point, my wife bought me a cake from Holt's for Father's Day. And I ate about half of it in 2 days. It was a small cake though. It wasn't a really big one. But I ate about half of it in 2 days. So sweets. Anybody that really knows me, they know sweets are my Achilles heel, man. Like, so donuts, cake, man, listen. I'm gonna kill it. So that's it.
What's the craziest or most unusual piece of fitness advice you have ever heard, and did you ever consider trying it out, even just for laughs?
There's a lot, man. There's a lot. Like a lot of the crazy crash weight loss diets, right? When the cayenne pepper thing, right? That one, that
don't work.
That was crazy. I didn't try the diet. I just tried the concoction, and it is god awful. It was terrible. I don't like spicy, so the cayenne pepper, like it was bad. That one, and like being a strength guy, like I was heavy in powerlifting, and I still will go heavy on a lot of days. Steroids are plentiful and they're everywhere. And when I tell you the roid guys want to share roids with you, I respect it, to each his own. I don't judge it, right? Because you still got to get in there and put in the work. But I'm good, man. I can say that I've never tried, steroids or any of the hormone supplements or anything like that. I'm a pre-workout protein powder guy, and that's kind of as far as I'll go with it, man. But I think the craziest thing is how liberal the steroid community is with, hey buddy, come on in, try this, right? Like, I'm like, nah bro, I'm good. So that and that cayenne pepper diet, I'm good. Yeah.
Well, finally, what do you hope that your legacy will be, both through your training and your involvement in the community and youth sports?
I don't know, man, that I really paid it forward, I guess. Like I said, I think my life has been a series of divine interruptions. And I just try to pay it forward, man. I try to be the energy that I like to receive, I try not to pay negative energy forward, right? If there's some negativity or a problem that comes from somewhere, I try to leave it where it is with that particular person, or in that instance. I don't try to pay it forward. So I just hope that legacy is something that whoever received that from me will pay it forward as well. Like, another military ideology is leave it a little bit better than you found it. And when people speak about me, I hope that that's something that they can say. He tried to leave it a little bit better than he found it. Yeah.
Okay, and just a personal question. How much you weigh?
Oh, I weighed myself the other day. I weigh 227.
227, and you're like what?
5'10".
5'10".
Yeah.
5'10" for real?
Yeah.
Okay, so we about the same height.
Yeah.
And you said how much you weigh again?
227.
227.
Yeah.
And I weigh myself every day. I'm about like 232ish right now.
Yeah.
How long would I have to go with train with Wayne to look like you? Could I ever look like you?
For sure. Like I said, it's just consistency, dedication. Get your nutrition, get your rest. Yeah. So I've lost 20 pounds now. Because I was 247
Okay.
on April 19th, I think it was. So, what's today, the 20th?
Yeah, yeah.
So I've lost 20 pounds in 2 months.
Okay, so how long would it take if you had to guesstimate?
I would say 5-6 months if you were completely committed, right?
Okay.
You know, 4 or 5 days a week, handled your nutrition, right? Right. One of my, I have a lot of mottos. I collect sayings and I create a lot of them, right? One of my mottos is if you ever see the hashtag or see any of my clients use the acronym PAB. The PAB stands for punk ass bitch, right? No punk ass bitches allowed, you know. So if you really accept that into your life and into your training regimen, don't be a punk ass bitch. Then, you know, 5-6 months, I think you could be good to go. And that's on the longer side, right? I would say 3-4 months if you dead serious. 3-4 months.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Train with Wayne, glad to have you here, man.
Let's get it.
You do a part 2 someday, and I appreciate the sit down. And,
hey, let's go get a set in real quick. I know you got a gym out here. Let's go get one before we go.
All right, we'll see.